And now to discuss the rise in insecurity in the country, we are joined by a security analyst and managing director, Dicon Gray, Insigna, Bem Garba. Thank you so much, Bem, for joining us.
Thank you. Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be here.
So we're actually glad that victims recently abducted in some of the states have been rescued and reunited with their families. But that no arrests were made seems to be a cause of concern for so many Nigerians. Is that the new approach to ending insecurity now?
No arrests have been made. I don't think I would want to say that that is a new approach. We can't say that. We do not understand the circumstances under which the rescues were made. Maybe the threat elements, maybe they ran away and left the girls or whatever. But I know that one thing I know for sure is that everything that's happening is happening for a good reason. It gives us the opportunity, the public is watching, and I know that the security agents are also aware that everybody's watching them, and I know that they want to do the best they can. They're actually doing the best they can. So I know that these are still early days in resolving these issues. We're going to see a lot of changes as time goes by.
So does that mean that the non-kinetic approach should continue in dealing with insurgency in Nigeria? Because the question has always been that there seems not to be consequences for these criminal acts that go ahead in abducting people and demanding ransom for their release.
Things are changing. The times you talk about are very different. We have a new team on board right now, and these guys are quiet. They're working. I mean, we've seen a lot of things happening behind the scenes. So, in all honesty, Nigerians should watch out. They're going to see some very significant changes in the way these issues are resolved.
Okay, so in terms of resolving this, you're a security expert, right? And let's be very critical about this. Now, we see these criminals who actually brazenly record themselves and post the videos on socials revealing their location, as the case may be. Now, can there be a coordinated plan to round them up, get them eliminated, or probably arrested and tried in courts? Isn't that possible?
It is possible, and that's what we're going to see. Like I said, the efforts that are being made now are very different from what we've seen in the past. Just this afternoon, we've seen some activities, within certain circles. We've seen concerted efforts being made. I have never seen in the history of my work within the sector, I've never seen the amount of work behind the scenes to resolve these issues being done. So I'm very optimistic that we're in for a new era. We're in to see a new time. And mark my words, we'll see something that Nigerians will be very proud of.
Can you categorically share with us, maybe in few details, what are those new things or new steps that will be taken to address insecurity? You seem to be quite confident of the new set of plans that will be rolled out. Nigerians need to be confident enough to know that they are secure wherever they may be.
Okay, so first of all, there's an increased awareness and then there's increased public scrutiny, and then there's increased attention from the international community. And then there's increased conversations about making the apparatus. So when I say apparatus, I'm talking about the people who are actually in the field, the soldiers, the equipment. We've had an emphasis on a lot of equipment in the past, but we're seeing an increasing emphasis on the commensurate training to the individuals or the personnel who will use this equipment. In life, when you don't train people who are employed, they are liabilities. But when they are trained, they become assets. So we've had a lot of people who have been bearing names and then the training has not been relevant to the threat and things like that. But with this new team that we have today, there's a lot of emphasis on how are we going to make our teams or the people we have assets to this country, not just people wearing uniforms. So this is a very serious issue that is being discussed across board and also being implemented. It's not just being discussed because we've seen actual training activity going on.
Another serious area in this conversation is ransom payment. Though government has denied that ransom or some sums of money were paid in exchange for their release, but we've seen videos of some of the relatives of these victims say that monies were paid. Now, do you believe this narrative, or do you think probably lies are being told?
I'm not in a position to discuss that because I don't know. I mean, if I try to answer that question, I wouldn't be answering with any facts. And I do not believe that the government will want to do that because it is really not an encouraging line of action, you know. So I won't say, I can't say anything confidently about that. But I know that it is government's policy not to encourage such actions by making payments so that these types of behavior does not continue.
Okay, so as we wrap up on this, Bem, now the president has issued a directive for the recruitment of more hands into the military and the Nigerian police, and of course the reopening of a dialogue for state police. So is this a stitch in time or maybe a little too late?
Better late than never. It's better late than never. The country needs the reactions and the actions that are being taken. And they're coming at a time where they will add value. The issue just has to be that the training for these people has to be done, which is, like I said earlier, it's a major burning issue to have the right people in the right places and to have them well trained so that they're not liabilities. Because if they come in and they don't get the training they need, they will turn out to become liabilities. But if the training is available, then we will see them as assets. They will actually be assets. So as the plans are being made to onboard XYZ numbers of personnel, there has to be commensurate plans to make provision for the right kind of training for them.
All right, thank you so much, Bem Garba, for sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you, sir.